Yo guys, what's up, Jub here, and welcome to the rules video for my Nuzlocke variant, the Jublocke. Now there's quite a bit of rules here, so let's get right into it, shall we? So, rule number 1. Same as a normal Nuzlocke, you can only catch one Pokemon per route. Even if it faints or flees, that will still count as your encounter for the route. Rule number 2. If a Pokemon faints, it must be put into the PC box for something at the end of your Jublocke run. If you block or white out though, that will end your Jublocke challenge. And rule number 3. Like a normal Nuzlocke, all Pokemon must be nicknamed. So that does it for the standard Nuzlocke rules with a little bit of a twist. Now it's onto the rules that the Jublocke adds. So, rule number 4. You may only have a maximum of 2 of the same type of Pokemon on your team. For example, you can have a Vaporeon, Piplup, Kirlia, Flygon, Shinx and Mew on your team, but you cannot have a Vaporeon, Piplup, Mudkip, Flygon, Shinx and Mew, due to Vaporeon, Piplup, and Mudkip all being water types. However, there's an exception which is explained in the next rule. So, rule number 5. Before you start your Jublocke, decide what type of double type Pokemon is going to go by. For example, Quagsire is a water and ground type. So let's say you decide on the first type being the type the Pokemon goes by. Then Quagsire will be considered a water type. If you decide on the second type, then it will be considered a ground type. Certain Pokemon become multi-typed at a final stage, so for example, if you choose the secondary type, you can use the Vaporeon, Piplup, and Mudkip, because Piplup will become a steel type and Mudkip becomes a ground type at its final stage. Whatever you choose at the beginning though, will be the number that you stick with for your entire Jublocke run. Rule number 6. No status inflicting or stat increasing / decreasing moves are allowed. The only exception is for moves where the secondary effect is the chance of being that side effect. For example, Thunder Wave can't be used because it is a status inflicting move, however you can use Thunder because it has a chance of paralyzing the foe. And lastly, rule number 7. X items are not permitted. So that was the required rules. Now I'm going to go over the optional rules. So, rule number 1. You can only heal outside of battle. Rule number 2. Pokemon centers may only be used twice per town. Once how you would normally do, and then once after a battle with a gym leader. Rule number 3. The run does not start until you obtain Pokeballs. Rule number 4. Legendary Pokemon may not be used. Rule number 5. You have to have at least one Pokemon that evolves and one Pokemon that doesn't or isn't evolved when you have a full team of 6. Rule number 6. Held items may not be used. Rule number 7. A 3 strikes you're out rule. This basically means that you get 3 black / whiteouts in your game, your third one being the end of your run. And lastly, Shiny Claws is on. This means that if you encounter a shiny Pokemon, you're allowed to catch it even if you already have a Pokemon for that route. If you choose to use the shiny though, it will replace your first catch. So, the purpose of storing Pokemon in the PC. When you have finished your Jublocke challenge, you will rebattle the Elite Four and Champion with your top 6 favorite Pokemon you have obtained. It does not matter if they are alive or not. So those are the rules to the Jublocke challenge. If you're confused by any of those, do not worry, I'll actually be doing a Pokemon Platinum Jublocke challenge starting tomorrow. So look forward to that. Anyway, that is all I have to say. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you later.